Hello, this is Karen Murphy with Pearson again. Want to take a moment to familiarize you with the MyITLab Office 2016. It's important to note that many of your students may be familiar with MyLabs, and although MyITLab is a different platform, they will likely be familiar with this left-hand navigation bar, which is fairly universal across the courses. When you first enter MyITLab from the course homepage, you'll notice that you have some elements to help you and your students get started right. I mentioned on the student video that we do have a Setup MyITLab button. Although there are no downloads that are required for MyITLab, and it does now prompt students if they have a pop-up blocker on or if they need to update their browser. This is also a page that you can come to help you know that you have the right operating system, that you have the latest version of your browser, and provides information for students on what the most preferred browsers are. We do have MyITLab written in HTML5, so Google Chrome is our preferred browser, with Firefox being a close second. This is also a page you can follow to direct support. We have an educator support line as well as a student support line that's available 24 hours a day. These are not training tools. Your Pearson rep, myself, and my support team are there to help you, but these are people to phone should you have any, truly technical difficulties like a server error or browser issues, those sorts of things. We also have available for students a student user guide, which provides a series of how-to videos for students who are using MyITLab for the first time. So feel free to direct your students there if they have questions about how to use the system. It's worth noting while we look at this left-hand navigation bar that you have exactly the same views that your students do. You can actually submit assignments and work inside MyITLab in the same way that your students can. So you don't have to have a separate student login to see the student view. You see what they see, with just a few exceptions. Anywhere that you see this little icon that looks like a guy wearing a seatbelt, that is an instructor view only. So you can see Manage Course and you can see MyITLab status site, but your students would only see these other buttons that are available. So I want to really quickly go through the various areas in MyITLab just to give you a broad overview of what you might see. Notifications is a place where students would receive notifications regarding their progress in the course, or most notably alerts if they had either a poor score on an assignment or if they had perhaps missed a due date. Likewise, on instructor notifications, you will also receive notifications that are worth note, things that are past due, anything that is notable or outstanding. You can come here and you'll see a series of notifications. The assignment calendar, which we will cover on a separate video, how to assign due dates, is a place where your students can come to see a physical representation on a calendar of those assignments that are coming due. They can see which items are due, anything that's past due, things that have been submitted or completed. They can also go to the to-do completed area, and they'll be able to see a list of items that are currently open and available for them to work on. From this list, they'll be able to click Start and begin any assignment that they would choose. Okay, back to the main menu. Another place where you and your students can come to open up assignments and content that's available in MyITLab is the course materials. You do not need to do anything in the Add From library. Your course has already been built for you, and your course materials are all available on this screen. You'll notice that the e-text is the first item that's available in your course. When I click Open the e-text, there are three options. One is how to access your iPad app, which is free. As long as students have access to the e-text in MyITLab, they can also download it for free on an iPad, which is very helpful if you have students with that technology. We also have an option here where students can purchase a print upgrade. It's a print version that drop ships to them. It's a little bit cheaper than if they were to buy it as a standalone. So if you ever have a student that purchases the ebook by itself and then realizes they wish they had a print book, they can come here to upgrade. And when I click on e-text, it's going to open in a separate window. And when I click here to access it, it will open a new browser window for that e-text. That is intentional because we want students to be able to do work in MyITLab, and if they don't have a split screen or they don't have a tablet, they can toggle back and forth and use that e-text that way. So back to the main menu real quick. Oh, actually, I wanted to show you something else in the course materials. So the e-text is the first item in the list, but we do have your other assignments listed below, and you'll notice they are organized by category, so common features, Word, Excel. If I'm working in Access, you're going to follow the logical progression. Think of it as like your documents folder inside your computer. Here is Chapter 1, Chapter 2, Chapter 3. I can drill down from there. And activities is where I'm going to find the actual assignments. Student resources, just so you're aware, is where you can find other support materials. We do have the e-text as well here, and the PowerPoints and the videos that are available to support that chapter. The videos are live in the ebook as well, so students who are working from the ebook will have an opportunity to play those videos as they're going through. When I click on simulation activities, you can see I have a simulation training and a simulation exam available. The next item on your navigation bar is grades, and there will be a separate video about the instructor gradebook and the custom view, but it's worth noting here that we do have, again, remember, these logos indicate an instructor view, so these are all just for instructors, and we do have a grade view for students as well. So students are able to come in and take a look at their grades on any given assignment. The custom view narrows the view just to those assignments that are going to transfer to Blackboard. There are a few assignments, the simulation training specifically, that are assigned for students, but for which they're not going to be receiving credit in the course. So this way we have both all of the grades for students to look at, as well as the custom view where they can drill down and look at just those grades that are actually counting towards their grades, because we are aware that they most likely would want to review either set of grades. And in this case, they would see their grade, and they would also be able to click in and view their submissions and see the data. And again, I'll share in another video how to look at that grade information a little bit more closely. The last two items here are your dynamic study modules, which provide a resource that's ungraded for students to learn a little bit more about computer applications. For those students who struggle maybe with reading a textbook, this is a great interactive place for them to come. They are adaptive, and it will help students narrow down the topics that they need additional study time for. And then lastly, we have a student frequently asked questions. So Mac Help, there's some help here with browsers, and a browser lock tool, which is specifically for instructors, and we're not going to really get into there. We do have release notes available and some other training and frequently asked questions that are available through this last MyITLab status site item. Have a great semester. Talk to you soon.